Hello there, welcome back to Jennie Designs with Paper and Christmas on the 25th. On the 25th of every month, I make another Christmas card to add to my stash and bring you along for the ride. So get comfy and let's get crafty. The card today is going to use a variety of products from my stash. I'm going to start with the Simon Says stamp, Peace, Love, Hope, Joy die, the Hero Arts Holly foil hot plate, silver foil from Spellbinders, a green card base, and a piece of scrap green cardstock. I am going to be doing the foiling on this green cardstock. And I have a white US A2 portrait style card panel. I've already plugged in my Spellbinders Glimmer machine. I'm going to zoom out here so you can see a little bit. Sorry for my squeaky chair. And it's plugged in, and as soon as it gets warm or ready, excuse me, we'll start putting our layers together. Okay, for the Glimmer machine, the first thing I'm going to do is add my hot foil plate bottom side down to the top of the Glimmer plate, the part that slides out from the heat machine. Then you put the foil shiny side down onto the plate. I'm just going to cut a little piece with my scissors here. I probably should have done that, prep it before you start, but I didn't. So you get to watch me fiddle with that too. I'm going to cut that with a pair of scissors. I'm not worrying about exactness or anything. I just need it to be long enough to go over that entire foil plate. You need to be careful when you're foiling because there is a difference in the hot foil that goes with a Glimmer machine in this type of machine and the toner foils that you can use from just a laminator. All right, so we have the hot foil plate pretty side up. We have the foil pretty side down, and then our cardstock panel, and then the shim and the clear plate. And then we're going to wait for the light to flash. That tells us it's nice and hot and ready, or wait for it to stop flashing rather. And then when it has stopped flashing, which is about 5 minutes, I'm going to pull the entire platform off and run it through my die cut machine off to my side. I cannot get that whole machine in my camera shot. All right, so everything is coming off. It's kind of sticking together a little bit. I do have the little magnet tool to get that plate off because it is quite hot. I have let that foil cool down just a couple of minutes, and I'm really impressed with how well it foiled on this colored cardstock. It is a bit off-centered, so I'm going to have to trim this down, which is no big deal. I kind of wanted a wide margin on my card anyway. So this is going to be cut down to 3 3/4 inches wide by 5 inches tall. Now I had this idea that I could use this die on the same color green cardstock and there would be enough silver foil to pop that up, but I was flat wrong. You can't see that word die at all. So I pulled out a piece of black and a piece of white scrap cardstock from my stash. I'm going to go ahead and run them through my die cut machine as well. And the black looks fine. Excuse me. It's not my favorite. It's still a little bit difficult to see. But the white looks fabulous. And the white will coordinate with my card base. But in order to give this very fine die cut, just a little bit of structure, I'm going to glue all of these pieces together. I'm going to start with the white being on top, and then I will put the two black layers together, and then put the green one on the back. So I'm just going to speed up through here. I'm using my reverse tweezers to hold it. I'm using Tombow Mono liquid glue, and I'm not squeezing it at all. It's just kind of coming out of the tip, and that's all I need because it's a very fine word die. I don't need to have a lot of glue come out. Now, should it come out and squeeze out? Not super concerned because it does dry back clear, but so now we have this die cut that's a little bit thicker. It's 4 pieces of cardstock thick. And here's our card base. And it's going to look gorgeous. So now we have assembly time. I'm going to grab my Scotch ATG and my double-sided adhesive and put a little bit of adhesive around all of the edges. I don't think that my cardstock typically buckles with the heat from the Glimmer machine like it would from like heat embossing or something. But I want to make sure there's enough adhesive on all the edges to keep that panel down on the card front. Just going to push that down. And And then I'm going to use that liquid glue again to adhere the die cut to the front of that card panel. Super, super, super easy card. I was not sure when the Glimmer machine and the ones like that first came out that I was going to be in love with heat embossing or heat foiling, but it makes really fast cards. So if you're on the fence, I think it is probably worth what you would spend if you use it frequently. The next thing I need to do is add a sentiment to the inside. So I've pulled out my Honeybee stamps, Inside and Out Christmas edition. I am going to stamp the inside of the card, which I probably should have done before I put the whole thing together, but whatever. I'm also using my Simon Says Stamp grid mat for the inside of my Misty, so I can make sure and get these stamps straight. You know, it's directly on the card. I get one shot at this, and then I have to disassemble the entire thing. There is one way to put this grid on so that center, the dot you can see right there, is in the center of your card. And I had to make sure I was doing that properly. I am going to flip my Misty so that the door flips up instead of left or right, just so that I can see that stamp and make sure that it is on right. I'm even going to pick it up, and my head's probably going to get in the way. But you know, if I'm stamping on the inside of a card and it's on a piece of liner paper and it's crooked, I can take it out and put a new liner paper in. But this is all on the card, so we're going to ink that up with Versaclara Nocturne Black ink now that I feel like it's as straight as I'm ever going to get it. And I'm using this ink because it's a one and done ink 99% of the time. So I'm just going to use a little tiny bit of pressure with my fingertips. I'm not pushing down very hard. I don't want to blur out the edges of this very fine font. And I'm loving how that turned out. I want to add a sub-sentiment in there, and it says, let me pick it up and see if I can remember what it says. The one I chose is, may your heart be filled with all the happiness of the season. Now, I nestled that sub-sentiment right up into our Merry Christmas. In fact, I probably was a little too close for comfort. You know, they could have used a little extra space, but that's all right. It looks fine in the card. And really, if the person who I send this card to is going to complain about my sentiments being a little too snug, well, they just don't get another Christmas card. So, neener, neener. I did add just a little bit too much pressure on the left side of this sentiment. The M's a little bit blurred out, but not enough that I want to redo it. So here is a zoom in so you can see that gorgeous silver foil reflecting the lights of my craft room. And here is another photo of the finished card. I hope you enjoyed watching this really quick video today. I've added a couple of other videos here I think you might like. I've also added that subscribe button. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you did. Leave me a comment down below. Have you started your Christmas card yet? Give me a thumbs up and have a really great day.